Hey, Sissy.
Look at
you.
your
Huh?
Look at your beautiful curly hair.
I do have, I don't know how beautiful it is, but I do have curly hair.
It's pretty.
Thank you.
What
Thank
have you got there?
Do you see this?
I do see that.
This is a glass cutting board. If our wonderful viewers and subscribers subscribe and like our videos for a month, each time they do that, their name will be entered into a drawing to get one of these beautiful glass. It's 11 by 15. It's really heavy. It's got the little feet back so it doesn't slide on the counter.
Fabulous.
Yeah. And we'll give one of these away and see how it goes.
Well, that sounds awesome. I might like to have one of those myself.
Well, I might have one right over there on the counter for you. So
that's exciting.
We have a fun one tonight, which is a throwback to a dish that Mom used to make. In fact, it was funny because when we were initially talking about this, it was during the holidays and Mom was still here. She's getting ready to leave. And I said, this is what we came up with. I said, but I haven't done it in so long. Like I forgot. So I ran the ingredients by her and she's like, yeah, that sounds right. So I'm like, well, we're going to see what happens. But I happen to have somebody that's going to assist me tonight.
Oh, really?
I do. I have an assistant. I just saw you look over this way. Do you also have an assistant?
I happen to have an assistant as well.
Well, introduce your assistant.
He's my production assistant.
I love it. Look at that face. Get Jason, get in the shot. Get over here.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. So he's going to help you with some production. That's fantastic.
Well, as soon as we get my antiquated laptop functioning.
Are you sure he's not there to help taste test?
Well, there's that too.
Is he going to help cook while he's there? Put him to work, get an apron on him.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right. Well, let me introduce you to my assistant.
Okay.
My assistant is the ever handsome debonair, straight from Hawaii, my youngest, Jimmie.
I'm resisting. Hi.
Hey, Jace.
I'm resisting the urge.
Don't say it. I make promises.
I miss your face.
So he's going to be my sous chef tonight. He's going to be doing some sauteing of some stuff and helping me get the presentation all done. So why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers what we're going to be making tonight?
Okay, we're making Jason's choice beef stroganoff. I'm doing a little bit of a different take on my normal recipe, of course.
You know, as we've done this is now like, our 15th or 16th episode. So we've done enough that there's some trending that I'm seeing because that's the analytic mind that is me. But it seems like I'm very traditional and you are play with it. Even if you've done it 10 times, each time you're going to add something different or maybe be like, oh, what if I left that out and added this? Whereas I'm more traditional with the I might add a little bit of something, but I pretty much do my recipe.
Yeah, that's why my husband says he doesn't ever say he really likes anything because he knows he'll never have it that same way again.
Hi there, welcome back to my kitchen. Happy New Year. So on Dishin with Sissy tonight, we're gonna make some beef stroganoff. And I have a little bit of a twist on it. I cooked a 13-pound prime rib roast last night, so I'm making prime rib beef stroganoff. I've got some 4 cups of beef bouillon here, and I added some onion powder and some powdered mushroom. It just gives everything a good umami flavor. I've got my prime rib prepared here, cut up in, I got about 2 pounds of prime rib cut up. And I have some baby bella mushrooms that I pre-sliced. Just wiped them off and chopped them up. I got the pan here. I got some vegetable oil heated up in there. And I'm just going to put, I don't know, a good big old tablespoon of butter in there just for a little extra flavor. And we'll let this get simmery. I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons of flour and just let it cook a little bit. 3 tablespoons of flour. Put the flour down a little bit. Get the lumps out. I'm going to stir this until it starts to thicken up and give it a taste and see where we're at with the beef flavor and the mushroom flavor.
Howdy, welcome back to Dishin with Sissy, where tonight we are going to prepare one of my mom's traditional dishes. It used to be special when she made this. It wasn't often, so when we came home and smelled it, we knew we were about to get something really good. We are making beef stroganoff. Now, I am going to use my electric skillet for this. I'm getting it really, really hot right now. While it heats up, I've got 2 prime rib that I'm going to just kind of cut up. I'm going to dredge them in some flour. We're going to cook them here till they get a little bit tender, but I don't want to overcook them. And then we'll kind of put everything together to simmer. This is a really quick dish to put together. There aren't a lot of pieces to it, but again, it's technique. It's making sure you don't overcook the meat. It's making sure you get a good simmer on it. And then of course, everything coming together at the end. So I chose a ribeye for this dish only because it's got some really good marbling, so you'll get some of that fat, which gives it the extra flavor and the juices when everything begins to simmer. So I'm just gonna cut these in about a 1/2-inch strips and then just toss them in this flour mixture I have over here, and we'll get them sizzling. The electric pan is getting all hot. I've got the ribeye cut in about 1-inch strips. I have the first batch in some flour. I'm just gonna kind of coat these so they have a nice coating of flour on them. That looks good. I'm gonna add the oil to the pan. Very hot. Again, you want your pan really hot because you want that sear. And then we're gonna turn it down to a low a little bit later on. Did you get the salt and pepper done?
Yes.
You want to come over here and just sprinkle a little bit of that on our meat while it's cooking. Put these in single layers so they don't overlap each other. There we go. Okay. There you go.
I've got some beef bouillon in here, about 4 cups worth, and I've got some mushroom powder, about a tablespoon of mushroom powder, and about 2 teaspoons of onion powder in here. So I'm gonna just make sure that's all stirred up. And I added a little extra beef bouillon just in case I have to add some extra water to thicken the sauce a little bit more. So let's add this a little bit at a time. Stirring it as you go.
My assistant Jimmie is going to saute some onions. It's about 1 medium white onion and a small can of mushrooms. I use the stems in pieces. Truth be told, I'm not a great mushroom person because of the texture, but I do like the flavor. So
Mushrooms are awful.
well, you know, you ate this when you were growing up. I just cut the mushrooms really small so you really couldn't taste it. With all those other wonderful flavors going on.
I've refined my palate since then. I can taste it.
So Jimmy, you cook a lot at home?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Usually meat cooking.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I don't really have like a favorite thing. It's usually just whatever I have the energy for.
Yeah? But if you could, if you're like, I'm gonna cook my favorite tonight, what would you cook?
This is gonna be steak.
Steak. You make a good steak. You made that for us last time you were here. So I'm gonna let you get to sauteing those wonderful onions and mushrooms. I'm gonna check over here. We're gonna take a look at our steak. They're getting a nice brown. So I'm gonna flip these over, get them cooking on the other side. So just wanted you to see this meat as it's cooking. I flipped it once. It's got a nice brown, beautiful color. And if you'll notice on the bottom, that's where the flour kind of is. And you want that in there. That's gonna help thicken this up a little bit when we add our beef bouillon a little bit later to make our beef stroganoff sauce. Looks yummy.
So I got this going. It's thickening up a little bit. It's going to thicken some more. But I put the mushrooms in there. And I'm just going to let this simmer for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes just to get the mushrooms cooked down a little bit. And I prepared ahead of time my favorite kind of noodle. It's an egg noodle called pappardelle. And we received a package of this from our fabulous neighbors across the street. And I've got this pre-cooked to al dente. And it's going to be so good. Anyway, so I got those noodles pre-done. I'm just going to let the mushrooms simmer down a little bit in here. And then we'll come back. I'm going to add the meat in and just let it simmer a little bit. And then add some sour cream. And then we'll be ready for plating. This is going to go pretty quick. And it smells delicious.
Okay, go ahead and add those to our meat mixture. It does smell good, doesn't it? Whether you like mushrooms and onions or not, sauteed mushrooms and onions smell amazing.
Because of my seasoning. It's all me.
It's all you? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to pour some, I've got some beef stock. I'm just going to pour over this. And it's going to simmer. So it should help the meat to not get too overdone. And we're just going to let that simmer in this broth. I'm going to add very few spices to this dish because the sauteed mushrooms and onions, as well as the ribeye, have a wonderful flavor of their own. I am going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. That's maybe a half a tablespoon. I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of ground white pepper, the same amount of ground black pepper, and some salt. About a teaspoon. We're going to stir it up. We're going to cover it. We're just going to let it simmer for a little bit.
Okay, so this with the mushrooms has simmered for a little bit. The mushrooms cooked down a little bit. I'm just going to put in the beef. I don't want it to cook anymore because it's so good the way it is. Just going to drop that in there.
Let's take a peek. Looks yummy. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of flour mixed in with some cold water and toss it in here as a thickening agent just to thicken this up a little bit. Make sure to get all the lumps out. Nobody likes a lumpy gravy.
Actually, I'm going to turn this way down and just kind of fold this in here. Oh dear, it looks good. Just mix this around. I'm going to mix this up a little bit just until it's warm. Let the meat get warmed up. Oh yeah. And this sauce will thicken a little bit as it sits. So you can always add some more broth, or we're going to put the sour cream in there. So that's going to thin it. All right. So this is looking pretty tasty. All right. I'm just going to put this whole container. It's a 16-ounce container of sour cream. So you got your mushroom flavor, your beef flavor. I'm gonna add the sour cream.
So the final thing to do for our beef stroganoff is to add the sour cream, which gives it that creamy texture. I have about a little less than 16 ounces or 2 cups of sour cream. I'm just gonna add most of it, stir it around. We're gonna let it just thicken up a little bit more and heat it back up because the sour cream is gonna cool it down just a little bit. I used to love coming home and seeing Mom making this. I knew it was gonna be a good dinner night. And I didn't even mind having to do the dishes afterwards. Look at what you got there. You got broccoli?
I do. I like the broccoli.
I didn't put no vegetables with mine. Y'all want vegetables? Go grab some out the fridge because there are onions and mushrooms in it. Yeah, to Jimmie's point, there is. That looks great, sis.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So tell me what you got going on there.
It's prime rib beef stroganoff.
Okay.
With pappardelle, egg noodles, mushrooms, and some broccoli.
Wonderful. Looks fabulous. Do you still have somebody there to taste it?
Oh, yes. Waiting impatiently, yes. Yeah.
Oh, we have beef stroganoff over egg noodles. So I used ribeye. Had a couple of ribeyes in the refrigerator, in the freezer. So I got those thawed out to prepare for this. Sauteed onions, mushrooms, a little beef broth, let it just kind of get nice and soft and absorb that flavor. Thickened it up a little bit, added some sour cream, put it over the egg noodles, and we are ready for dinner.
Oh, yes, we are ready for dinner.
So let me introduce, I have 1 fork for you.
Okay.
But I have an extra fork. We're going to try to coerce Rui to come in.
Oh,
that's
please.
Jimmie's girl. She's here. She's visiting. We're going to have Rui come in, and she's never had this before. So we're going to get a real honest to goodness. Don't make no faces at my food, Rui. Okay.
Oh, hi, Rui.
You remember
Nice
Denise?
to meet you.
So we're going to try this for the first time. Y'all go ahead.
Hey, Jason, come grab a fork.
Yeah, Jason, get at it. We're eating. It's time to eat.
Time to eat, time to eat.
Mm.
Over there, that drawer.
Good? She likes it. We got a yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let Jaybird come in here.
Come on, Jaybird.
We're trying. We'll let him do the taste testing. Normally I'm picking at it, eating it.
Good stuff?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, Jason, I really appreciate you making this suggestion because this was right. You hit a home run with it.
Oh yeah.
The pappardelle noodles, they are an egg noodle. They're just a flat, wide egg noodle.
Yes, that holds lots of delicious beef gravy on it.
Oh yeah. All right. So happy to see you too.
Oh, it's so good to see you guys. So good to see Jason.
Yeah. I haven't seen him for a while myself, so this is a nice surprise.
It's wonderful. And you have somebody to actually taste the food. Not that the kids are going to be like, oh, that's not any good. But I don't know, but I know Jason's pretty much, honest, and Jimmie's too honest sometimes. You have to drill that down, like put a filter on that honesty a little bit, but I trust Rui, and Rui said it was good, so I'm good with that.